Hey there guys, welcome back. Sorry I was gone for a week there, I had to go to Europe for family matters, but it is what it is. So today we are looking at Teval, the balanced scale, or I like Teval, a little bit more fancy. We're a 4-color brand new Sultai Dragon Commander in the new card set. We have 2 main abilities. We have whenever we attack, we mill 3 cards, then you may return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Doesn't have to be from the original 3. In addition, whenever one or more cards leaves your graveyard, create a 2/2 Black Zombie Druid creature token. So really default Dragon stat line, but 2 really Sultai-esque abilities. In general, the deck is built around graveyard value, small instances of graveyard movement. You don't want to do one big lump sum, it triggers off per instance, not the quantity or the value. Bit of a zombie under theme, naturally in Sultai, and a lot of dirty land recycling. Lieutenants to the deck. The Scarab God is a perfect fit. He can steal things from the graveyard, which counts towards our commander moving things out of the graveyard. We can resurrect them into 4/4 bigger, better zombies. He too, when dies, goes to the graveyard and they'll come back to our hand, which counts again for more movement for our commander. And he also makes our opponent lose life and we get to scry based on number of zombies. Really good supporting theme. Muldrotha lets us play permanents of each type from our graveyard every of our turns, which can be multiple instances for our commander again, generating a ton of tokens. Tormod does what our commander does every time something moves out of the graveyard, create a 2/2 zombie token tapped though. Then you have Sidisi, the OG. When it enters or attacks, mill 3, which we care about filling up our graveyard. But whenever we mill a creature in an instance, we get a 2/2 zombie token. Again, a lot of zombies going on here. And then we have the very greedy Get Rogue monster. We do have to sacrifice lands to it every turn, but we can play additional lands, and every time a land goes to our graveyard by any means, we draw a card. With this commander, being able to return lands from our graveyard when attacking, this really encourages playing sack lands, fetch lands, stuff like that we can abuse. Little combo worth noting, but all these pieces are great on their own. You have your commander and a token out, which is a zombie. You have Phyrexian Altar and Gravecrawler. Gravecrawler can be cast from the graveyard if you have a zombie in play. For 1 mana, you cast your Gravecrawler from the graveyard back on the battlefield. You sack him under the altar, you get a black mana, and you just keep recasting the Gravecrawler again and again and again. But every time he leaves the graveyard and comes back to the battlefield, he brings a little friend along with him. You theoretically have any number of zombie tokens you want, which at any point you can sack for any amount of mana in any color combination. I'm sure you'll find the way to win the game there. Tortured Existence, I love this card, I love the artwork. It basically is for 1 black mana, switch a creature card from your hand to a creature card in your graveyard, just switch them around, which to our commander counts as a movement, so we create tokens while we're doing it. Teval's Judgment, it's a very similar effect to actual commander but on an enchantment. You can pick 1 of 3 that's not already been done, which is draw a card, treasure token, or create another zombie token when something moves out of the graveyard. Big dumb fun cards. I love Breach of the Multiverse. At 7 mana, everybody mills 10 cards, and then you can pick for each player, creature or planeswalker from their graveyard. Doesn't have to be from that original 10, and you get to resurrect it. It's a Phyrexian addition, but hey, a big 4-player game, sealing 4 things is pretty fun. Afterlife from the Loam, a similar effect, but it has Delve built in. For each player you can res 1 creature from their graveyard, including ours as well. They're a zombie, which we do care about, but it has Delve, and Delve counts as exiling a card from the graveyard, which is leaving the graveyard for our commander, so another zombie token there. And then Rise of the Dark Realms, often a finisher in many commander games. When it goes off, you resurrect everyone's graveyards under your control, and you probably will win right there. Then we have Sheldred and Jin. I love these 2 to bits, the OG. I've won so many games in my Dimir deck by just abusing resurrecting these things. My opponents keep killing them, I keep bringing them back and just put the pressure on. Sheldred supports our game plan. She makes people sack things every turn, but we get to resurrect something every turn. And then Jin reduces their hand size by 7, and we get to draw 7 every turn. I totally don't care about discarding cards with Jin because I can probably reanimate them later, or if they're lands I can play them through our commander. In terms of mill, the Mez Orb can mill us and everyone else, which I don't mind milling my opponent, but we are trying to fill up our graveyard for fuel. Every time someone untaps a permanent, mill a card. Alter Dementia, you can sack a creature and someone mills cards equal to its power. In response to removal, bad blocking, board wipes, fill up your graveyard, or if your graveyard's doing alright, just dunk it into someone else's graveyard. Snarling Gorehound, every time a creature with power 2 or less enters, surveil 1, which is you look at the top library, keep it there or burn it to the yard. Really good way if our commander zombies entering the battlefield to fill up our graveyard there. Ripples of Undeath, every pre-combat main phase 1, We mill 3 cards, and if you want to keep anything there, you have to pay 1 mana and 3 life, and you get to keep a card. So it's like graveyard filling and selective draw. Path of Discovery, pretty much of that commander, or its token generation. Every time a creature enters the battlefield, you explore, which you look at the top card of your library, you can put it into your hand if it's a land, otherwise put a counter on a creature you control, then put that card back or into your yard. A way to fill up the yard and buff creatures. Crawling Sensation, every upkeep of ours we get to mill 2 cards. Whenever one or more lands goes into a graveyard from anywhere, for the first time each turn, you get a green insect token. Keep your sack land, your fetch lands to crack on your opponent's turn to kind of maximize it. 6, when it attacks, mill 3 cards, typical thing there. But when it's your turn, all your non-land permanents in your graveyard have retrace. It means you can cast them in addition by discarding a land. Gets a lot more value out of our permanents. Nyx Weaver, similar effect, beginning of our upkeep, we mill 2 cards, but it can return something from our graveyard back to our hand, which feeds our commander's zombie generation. Then we have good old Hedron Crab, landfall, someone's milling 3 cards, could be us, could be our opponent, who knows. With the Bloom command, just options, can be a little bit of removal, destroy little non-creature permanents, could do some milling, a little bit of life loss, you know, whatever you want. In Reanimation, gone a little bit heavy here, but the Colossal Grave Reaver is the money maker. Big fat 8 mana dragon at 7/6 with flying. When it enters or attacks, mill 3 cards, but whenever one or more creature cards are put to your graveyard from your library, put 1 onto the battlefield. Just straight up cheating in. It's really delicious, it's good. Then we've got Cursed Cloth Wrappings, a 4 mana artifact. Buff your zombies, you can also embalm a creature from your graveyard equal to its mana cost. So it brings a creature back, but it's a zombie in addition, which then it gets the buff. And it leaves the graveyard so your commander brings another zombie for you. Conduit of the World lets us play our lands from a graveyard, so even better with our commander, we can ramp ahead quite aggressively here. But you can choose to cast a non-land permanent from your graveyard, but it does lock you out of playing a card from your hand that turn. Then I've got the typical suite, Buried Alive, fill up your graveyard with things you care about, maybe get Sheltered in there nice and early, or Gravecrawler for the combo, whatever you want to do. Dread Return, a nice easy reanimation spell, but its flashback can also count as leaving the graveyard because you exile it, so it gives another zombie for your commander. Reanimate and Animate Dead, you know, just removing things from the graveyard, resurrect him, and get free zombies from your commander. I'm really liking Chthonian Nightmare. It's a weird reanimation spell, 2 mana, enters you get 3 energy. You can pay X energy and sack a creature to res a creature with CMC that much, but the Nightmare goes back to your hand. So by default, you can resurrect a CMC creature 3 or less, great for Fleshbag, Marauder, and Eternal Witness to keep bringing things back from your graveyard, or punish your opponent. In theory, you could play it multiple times, stockpile energy, and res bigger things in the late game if you wanted to. Now, for the naughty lands. Don't normally cover lands too much because it's just a mana base, whatever, it'll be in the description down below and tapped out, but it's whenever your commander attacks, you mill 3 cards, and then you can return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. It can be any land card that's in there already. It really encourages you to play Wasteland, Ghost Quarter, Strip Mine. Echoing Depths would enter as a copy of one of those other 3. And now you're kind of playing land destruction, being a bit of an asshole about it, but it works. You can knock people off their colors, you can go for key lands that they need. Other relevant cards would be the Colosseum, which when you got Threshold online, you can sack it to draw 3 but also discard 3 cards. Again, you don't care, you're a Sultai graveyard deck, it's just value right there. Or the Folly can let you sack the land to get a creature from your graveyard back to your hand. Or like Command Beacon can be reused multiple times throughout the game to make your commander a little bit cheaper to play. And then Fetch Lands. Fetch Lands are great in a commander like this, where you can keep reusing them again and again and again, really thin down your deck. But because of that, I've made sure all the lands in my deck have either subtype that we can search for. But based on the zombie theme, I have Field of the Dead here. Every time we have land 7 or more that is different, we get zombie tokens. It's expensive, but it does work really well with this commander. General supporting cards for the deck. Golgari Thug with its Dredge is great. When the Thug dies, you can put a creature card from your graveyard to the top of your library, which counts as a movement for our commander, so another zombie token. And the Dredge helps fill up the graveyard even more. Wonder, if it gets into the graveyard, our entire board state will start to levitate and just fly across. Good luck to your opponent. Blood cards can be cast from the graveyard thanks to landfall. The Provisioner with its landfall can generate us food or treasure tokens. I'm probably picking treasure tokens to stockpile mana. Noxious Revival is very obnoxious, of course. Instant speed, Phyrexian mana. We can put a card from our graveyard top of our library. Counts as a movement. People might not see it coming. We can get removal back, counter spells, whatever. Profane Tutor and Grim Tutor are my go-to because they are the better but cheap-ish, because, you know, tutors are expensive. And Welcome the Dead, brand new, really fun card. Draw 2 cards, ditch a card, you lose 2 life, and you create X tap zombie tokens, or X the number of cards that will put into your graveyard from the hand or library this turn with flashback. So you could double dip in one turn if you had enough mana. Then Mithril Coat, just protect a commander. Helm of the Host to double out per commander. If you know me, I love Helm of the Host. I put it pretty much in every deck I can, because multiple copies of commander means more land drops and more zombie tokens, and Lightning Greaves to protect our commander. Removal, nothing out of the ordinary here. Blast Edict is just a good generic board wipe. Living Death is kind of fun when you're a graveyard deck, just switch the board and the graveyards around really for everyone. And then for direct removal, Assassin's Trophy, Putride, Beast Within can kind of hit most things. Swan Song and An Offer You Can't Refuse are good single protection for our commander most of the time. In terms of ramp, we have Insidious Roots, which is really good for this commander. Makes your zombie tokens tap for mana, but whenever one or more creatures moves out of your graveyard, you get to create a planet token, then you can put a counter on each planet you control, and their tokens as well, so you can tap for mana. Then there's the White of the Reliquary, really strong zombie. It's cheap at 2 mana, it does get bigger based off your graveyard. I don't care about that part, but you can tap it, sack another creature to search your library for a land card, put it into play tapped. Doesn't have to be a basic or any type of land. Get Strip Mines, get your Command Beacon, whatever. Life from the Loam, it would be a no-brainer in this deck, returning 3 lands from a graveyard to a hand with Dredge. Just keep reusing it, recycling it, away you go. Titan's Nest, I and ah about it, but it can be pretty greedy in the mid-late game. Beginning upkeep, you can pretty much look at top card of your library, maybe burn it away if you don't want it there. But you can spam it and exile cards from your graveyard for generic mana. Mid-late game lets you pay off some really big mana costs and cheat out things earlier than you should, or play multiple big drops in one turn and put the pressure on. Skull Prophet taps for 2 cards that we need, or it can mill 2 cards, I don't mind it. Crop Rotation, we do have to sack a land, don't care if it's commander of course, but you can get any land from your library, put it into play. Again, getting things like Strip Mine and that to start attacking your opponent's land base because you're a bit of an asshole. Head Shredder, when one or more lands go into our graveyard from our library, we just put them straight back on the battlefield. So when we're self-milling, we're just also ramping. Then we've got Milken, it's a mana rock that also mills cards. Sol Ring, Arcane Signet, just the normal. And that is Teval, or Teval, the balanced scale. Really good Sultai, typical game plan, what you expect. Play in the graveyard, have some fun, make some tokens. A very resilient deck, can come back from board wipes quite well, a lot of reanimation, good fun. Excels in a 4-player game, of course. And from what I can tell online, it's definitely the most popular of the commanders from the new set. More people want to buy this one than others. But that's it. If you liked the video, give us a like and a sub. We're going for 5k. Once again, I'm sorry I was gone for an extra week there. Just Europe family matters, had to fly away. I'm back. Thank you to my patrons for your support. I cannot thank you guys enough, and have a good one. See you later. Bye.